Hey everybody, this is TJR hanging out with Superfan.
Hey.
And of course we've got the green guy here too. And you curious to see what we got? I'm sure he is. Gonna do a little vintage record haul for you here today. This is a combination of two stops. One that we made at Amoeba Records together.
Yep.
Out in Los Angeles. And a huge, if you've never been to Southern California, a huge record store selling new and used vinyl, CD, tapes, also DVDs, Blu-rays, books, comics. They just big store, a lot of stuff.
Even VHS tapes.
Even VHS tapes, yes. They have quite a bit there. And we went there, drove to Los Angeles, which is maybe
An
hour at most, depending on traffic. Maybe less, hopefully, if the traffic's easier. But roughly an hour's drive to just kind of take in Los Angeles, stop at Dupar's Restaurant, which is a great old school diner type restaurant that has been there forever, since the very earliest days of Los Angeles. I think 1920s, 1930s?
Yeah, 1930, I believe.
1930s, okay. Old school
Not
style.
Not the beginning of Los Angeles, though. Los Angeles has been around a bit longer.
Yeah. And so cool bit of retro history. And it's just a great looking place, good food. We stopped there for breakfast and trade in a bunch of media that we didn't want anymore and wanted to let go of. You wanted to say something, what?
Well, just for those who are in the know,
yes,
it is the place where Lynch Frost Productions got the pies for Twin Peaks.
Ah, there you go. That's right. You're absolutely right. That's a good point. Thank you for bringing that up.
And we did get a pie while we were there.
Yes, we got a pie there. Yes, you have to get a pie. And
it's a rule.
It's a rule. But anyways, though, so we went and we traded in a bunch of media that we didn't want anymore. CDs, records, you know, DVD, Blu-ray, whatever. And got some stuff back, magically speaking. The second part is from a trip to Left of the Dial Records here in Orange County, a local place that mainly just, it's strictly just music, very small CD section, but mostly records, and of course, mostly all used, very little new. So we'll share this here, and there we go. So first of all, we have here Elton John, Rock of the Westies. I remember having this record back in the day when it came out in the 70s. Now, the cover here, as you can see, it's got some tears here. Other than that, I don't think the cover is really in that bad a shape. But it certainly affected, you know, the price they sold it for, which was less than I would normally expect. The interior sleeve, real nice. And there's also an insert here as well, which was the lyric sheets. This is in pretty good shape too. But what impressed me the most was, of course, the most important part is the record itself. And I was real pleased with the look of it. I've been wanting to, I had this on CD, of course, but I had it on vinyl back in the 70s. There we go. And there is the other side of the label there. I thought that label was cool, where you've got all the faces of the band members. Elton on one side, everybody else on the other side. And just thought that was cool. But yeah, record, I looked at it, looks like it's in pretty good shape. So yeah, and you know, that's the case with the three that I picked up at Left of the Dial Records.
Now, he always seems to take really good care.
Yeah, well, I think he's just, you know, he prices accordingly, I think. This one was priced, I thought, really reasonably. But like I said, I think it's because the cover has the damage that it has. That's why it's marked down. And I mean, it's great to have the covers in great shape, but at the end of the day, I would rather pay less money if the record is in great shape, but the cover has some damage. You know, to me, that's the better trade-off. Versus, hey, cover's in great shape, but the record's all messed up. Yeah. Anyhow, though, So Rock of the Westies. This was one of his many solid albums during the 70s. This had a couple hits on it. It had Island Girl. I remember that being a big hit on the radio when that was out. And then there was also a smaller hit, I Feel Like a Bullet, in the Gun of Robert Ford, in parentheses, which was probably, how shall I say, that was like a real, that was just kind of typical of the kind of ballads he did back in the 70s that he was known for. And it to the point where it's like, it's almost formulaic, the way that one comes off. I still liked it though. But a lot of really good songs on this one. The rest of these maybe not as well known, but lots of really good songs. Island Girl being probably the really huge hit off of this album. But I can remember that one being on the radio back when I was in high school. And of course, the whole album's really good. And then that's that. Let's look at the next one here. We have the Eagles, One of These Nights. And the store, Left of the Dial Records, they always put these sleeves on all their records, unless you're buying from the $1 bin or the $5 bin. But here we go. Cover looks pretty good to me. Not too bad. But again, when I'm in the stores, I always do this. I pull out the record and I just take a look at it in the store. I'm always very careful about how I handle. And I just see, okay, does it look like it'd be, reasonably playable? And, without any scratches or anything like that, or any skips, You can never be 100% sure, but you can do your best to look. And I always kind of say that, when shopping for used records, there is a certain amount of risk that I just accept. It's just, if you can't accept the risk that you might at some point buy something and it really won't play up to your expectations, then don't do it. Just go with new. Because you're always taking a certain amount of a chance with these records. You can look at it and say, okay, it looks good, but then you take it home and it has this defect, You can try to take it back to the store, but used records, I kind of always look at used records as like, as is. Yeah, as is. Like going to the as is room at IKEA, there's no returns. I always look at it that way. So I always take a certain amount, I always accept that there's some amount of risk, but I think if you go to stores where they have a good reputation for what they sell, then you're probably going to be, for the most part, fine. And you'll get what you pay for as well. Anyways, though, but yeah, this one looked pretty good. I own this. Actually, I only own an MP3 of this. I don't own a physical copy, any physical copy of this. So this is the first physical copy I have owned on this one here. I'll let the little guy watch over these here. Here you go, buddy. Just keep an eye on him. Next, we have Billy Joel, The Stranger. And I recently got a vintage copy of 52nd Street. 52nd Street and The Stranger are my two favorite albums by Billy Joel. I bought these back when I was a teenager in high school, and I've always loved them. There we go. And I had these both on vinyl back in the day. Of course, as I've mentioned, like a lot of people, once CDs came along, I just ditched my records and bought CDs. And here we go. And yeah, once again, I looked it over in the store and said, okay, it looks acceptable, And I just recommend that. Just look at the record, If they don't like you looking at the records, then maybe you shouldn't buy. There are some places, though, like, say, Amoeba Records, which we're going to look at some in a moment here, where the more higher-priced used records that are there are sealed. And that's, I guess, because they don't want customers pawing all over them. But I've come to trust that if they seal it, it's in really good shape. And so you just look at the price and say, do I want to pay that much? But they're always pricing competitively, like most stores. And I think this place prices pretty competitively too. And if he charges more, there's a good reason for it, because the record's going to be in better shape. So there we go. That was Left of the Dial Records.
Yeah, and I'm guessing in Amoeba's case, they would have, it wouldn't be hard to switch out one album, one record for another A lesser quality for a higher quality.
You mean, oh, in like
The
sleeves?
actual vinyl.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. Someone could try to do that, I guess. And
You know,
say,
two
yeah.
copies of the same album, they just switch them.
Yeah, I guess that could be possible, given the just the huge amount of stock and the huge amount of people in there.
Yeah.
Like the store Left of the Dial Records, I walked in there for a period of time there. I was the only person in the store. Easy to keep an eye on me, even though I'm pulling records out and looking at them. I think maybe before I left, 3 more people came in and were in there.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's as, you know, when you're as busy. Amoeba is just like,
slammed all the time.
yeah, they're slammed. And sometimes you have to wait outside for a little bit if they're too busy. And but not too often. But at any rate, though, so yeah, that makes good
I
sense.
think you're having COVID flashbacks.
Probably, yeah. So now we've got some purchases that were made at Amoeba Records. Now, one of them is in just a sleeve, just like the other store did. But this one here is sealed. They sealed it. So we'll take a look at this one first here. Of course, Neil Young, After the Gold Rush. And to me, the cover looked like it was in really good shape. Very solid, in fact. Really nice. Sleeve here. And there it is. Yeah, and again, I did look at this in the store because I was able to. I checked it out, and I said, "Yeah, looks reasonable. You know, it's got some dust, but that's easy to take care of."
No, it's always kind of fun to read those advertisements.
Oh yeah, it is. And actually, this is not that. What this is I've seen this ad before. I remember reading it back in the day.
It's his.
The
it's
Warner
advertising.
Reprise Lost Leaders. And this was a special series of compilation albums and that you could get featuring different artists that came directly from them. And they were apparently more bargain priced than other records of the time.
Did they give you a price on them?
Let me see here.
That's a video.
$2 each.
Okay.
$2 each they were
There
back
you
then.
go.
Yeah.
I think
But,
there was a video in that.
It would, yeah, you know, it's funny because I never did send in for any of these. I didn't have any interest in them. Oh, I almost mistook. I didn't realize we've got this in here too. I didn't even notice this when I first looked at it in the store
So it's complete.
before making the purchase. Yeah, that it's got this here, this rather large lyric sheet poster is in here.
Handwritten lyrics.
And
He
I
sat
had a
down
copy.
and wrote every single one of those.
That's
posters.
right, he did. I had a copy of this record back in the 70s, but I bought it used, and it never had that little poster in there. But yeah, but you're right. This would be an interesting story maybe about
Find a bunch of them and-
what happened to this program. You know, what was the story behind it?
Well, just the artists that are being advertised too.
Yeah. Well, I glanced at it. Like I saw in one of them, I saw Petula Clark and Joni Mitchell on the same record. And so
There you go.
there you go. And let's go ahead here.
It might be fun to try and find one of those records.
Yeah, yeah. It would be. So next we have a sealed one here. The Who. Who Are You? And I am going to need a moment to get this opened. We are back, and so we got this one opened up here.
We did some surgery.
Yes, and
The
of course,
operation was successful.
I'm going to put this in a better bag anyways at the end of the day. But let's take a look at this here. Wow, yeah, this looks pretty darn good. I mean, more than pretty darn good in my opinion. I'd say this one looks close to new.
Considering it's, what, 40, 50 years old?
Yeah, I would say this one looks very close to new as far as the cover. Yeah, wow. Let's go ahead here and let's look at the record here. Since I couldn't look at it in the store, and of course I'm pretty sure this is the original sleeve. We'll be replacing it with a anti-static sleeve, of course. Let's take a look at it here. Yeah, I'd say it's pretty darn good. Yeah. I mean, I can tell that human hands have touched it, And that's one thing, you know, there's a difference between seeing that human hands have touched it and just seeing, you know, big scratches on it, that type of thing. There we go. All right. But yeah, there's always going to be some risk, so I just accept it. If it happens, it happens, you know. It's part of playing the game. That's how I look at it. There we go. Nice. Yeah, really nice, this one. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the record is in good shape, but the sleeve is in extremely good shape. Maybe that's why they sealed that one. Yeah. Now, this one here, this last one here, actually is brand new and sealed. But it was sold as used. It has their yellow used sticker on it. And this is the Steven Wilson remix of A Passion Play by Jethro Tull. This is one that I missed out on back when it first came out. I don't think I was probably as into vinyl at that time. And so I missed out on it, and then later wished I could get it. And I've kept my eye open for the possibility of getting it.
And now you have.
And now I have, and they were selling it used. Although now that I see what, it's got its shrink wrap on it. It's not sealed. You see how it's torn there? Whoever owned this previously, they just broke the seal here. They pulled the records out, and they kept the shrink wrap on.
It's a gatefold, though.
Yeah, well, that's what they did. Obviously, they didn't do too much with it because they must have probably maybe played it once or twice, and then who knows, maybe then sold it, let it go. But I will, of course, not keep this shrink wrap. I will put it in a nicer sleeve. The original 1973 Passion Play album remixed to stereo by Steven Wilson. And we will go ahead, though. I am going to take the shrink wrap off right now so I can open up the gatefold here. There we go. Okay.
Yes, you don't need to be precious about it.
And, oh, this gatefold is different. So that's the first surprise right there. That's different from what I'm used to hearing. And so let's take a look here. First record. Make sure there's nothing else in there. Okay, no. Paper sleeve, but polylined. Yay. Here's the record itself. There we go. Yeah, I mean, looks really great. Dust, but that's all. Dust can easily be removed. And very good. I would expect the second record will look the same. And oh, okay. No, there's only one record. I was thinking there was two because of the weight. But I find instead there is this very nice booklet instead, which we can live with. And let's see here. The original record was only one record. For some reason, I thought maybe they'd had to put it on two or had some bonus tracks or something. But instead, we have this booklet here. And this is unique to this edition. Yeah, this appears to be giving us historical details on the album. There we go. I will really enjoy reading this. I've always really liked this album a tremendous amount, and I feel like it's way underappreciated. I've always had a huge appreciation for this album. And oh yeah, here we've got some information as well on those who worked on it, including Steven Wilson. Very nice. Yeah. The original lyric sheet, which I remember on the version I had back in the 70s. Very nice indeed. But yeah, I've been wanting to get my hands on this, but it's been, like I said, aftermarket prices have been very high. And so when I saw this sitting there, you know, in their store for less than $20, which, like I said, couldn't get it for that. Immediately jumped on it. And I've heard the Steven Wilson remix on streaming. Oh, I'm not going to keep it in this thing anyways. This is mangled. We'll get something better. But there we go.
I chopped it up.
Yes, that's fine. Okay. So there it is. Vintage Vinyl Haul, 2 locations. And real quick, some things that are coming up. I have a video I'm working on right now about a very, how shall I say, rarely talked about Kiss album called The Elder, which is a concept album they did. I know that just the mention of the word Kiss polarizes some people, but hopefully you'll, like Superfan here, just the very mention gets her blood a-boiling. But hopefully you'll find the story that I have in this video, which is just kind of an analysis of the album and what happened with it. Hopefully you'll find that interesting, even if you're not into the music. So that's coming up soon. I've already given the patrons a look at that one. And they've given them a sneak preview. Patron supporters receive exclusive videos every week, not available here on the channel. And if you'd like to be a patron supporter and get your names in the credits and access these videos, just go to patreon.com/TJR the original. And thank you. Also, if you can't be a patron supporter but still want to show some support, you can just click the super thanks button and make a whatever donation you want to make, a one-time. But if you can't do that, I still understand. I still think you're wonderful. Just click like, click subscribe, hit that bell notification icon, and share these videos with anyone you think might be interested in them. And again, thank you.
Help us grow the channel.
Help us grow the channel. That's right. Help us grow it. And we need your help. Anyways, though, but thank you so much for just hanging out. And really appreciate it that you would spend some time and talk about stuff. These types of videos, these just these kind of like haul videos, they kind of help keep the lights on while I work on the more serious essay videos. So I appreciate your patience for those essay videos. Thank you. But I also really appreciate the feedback you've been given. Okay.
Fierce and mighty.
Yes. And we just appreciate you. We just appreciate you all very much. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye.